place to promote the growth of Tigres in English through analysis, discussions, interviews, and more. Welcome to the Lautimes podcast. And we're back! Happy Thursday, everybody. It's good to be back here on the Lautimes podcast. The only podcast talking about Los Tigres de la U de Nuevo León in the English language. And tonight here on this Thursday, not on our usual Tuesday recording night, we have a lot to get to. As always, including Liguilla, and Conca. All the things. I'm Dennis. I'm the host and producer here in DFW, Texas. Back from Nashville after making an appearance at the first leg of the CONCACAF semi the other night. And for the time being, hopefully we'll have a little bit more of our crew join later. But I am happy to be joined currently by my friend down off of I-35, down in Central Texas. Home of the Longhorns. You know him as Luis. You know him on Twitter as Tigres_English. How are you?
What's up, Dennis? We are in good spirits, my friend. It's been a good week.
It has been a good week. We just were talking about, and we'll talk about this on the air here in a little bit, but we were just talking about Tigres Femenil. We have a lineup for the girls. It is 9:09 here on Thursday, April the 30th. Tigres Femenil starts their Liguilla in 50 minutes. The first leg at Toluca. So we will talk about that match as we, go throughout this episode. We'll talk about the lineup that just came out on the air. We just kind of went over it off the air for a second, but we'll go more in depth and look ahead to that series. So hopefully we'll get some more of you joining live on my podcast people. Thanks for listening. As always, if you haven't already, please subscribe, follow the show if you haven't already, leave your comments on Spotify. Leave us some nice ratings and reviews and all the things. That goes a long way. And if you are watching live, / if you do watch live later, please share this with somebody, follow us on socials, all the things. I'm about to send the link out on Twitter, so hopefully we can get some more people in. And this is what we're going to do. So thanks for joining us. And let's get started with this episode. I'm going to let you, Lou, dictate where we want to go. There's three things we have to talk about tonight. We have to talk about the semifinal first leg at Nashville. We have a Chivas first leg preview to talk about in the men's side with Liguilla. And then obviously the girls. How would you like to start of those three options?
Let's start with the girls. As Toluca would say, ladies first.
Whatever. As most people would say, ladies first. We will, that's annoying. Sorry, I'm like halfway distracted by the local hockey team here in DFW, and looks like our playoff run is over. Anyways, let's talk about the girls because, as we just mentioned, the lineup just came out for the girls in this first leg. If you don't know where to watch the game tonight, I believe it's on TUDN. I'm going to confirm that.
It's also going to be streaming live on the Liga MX Femenil YouTube channel.
Excellent. That is great. I'm not seeing it pop up on TUDN. Maybe it will.
It might be a VIX special.
Maybe.
But if it's on VIX, it should be free. Because last night's game was free as well on VIX.
Okay.
The Rayadas Cruz Azul game was free.
Got it. Okay. So you got multiple places to watch it. Here is the starting lineup for the first leg away at Toluca. It is basically the same starting lineup that the girls rolled with last week in the Clásico Regio Femenil, with one change in midfield, being Emma Watson replacing Stephanie Mayor in the middle of the park. The rest of the lineup is the same. Ceci Santiago in goal. Your back four of Jimena Lopez, Greta Espinosa, Marisa, and Anika Rodriguez. Midfield, Alexia Delgado and Jenny Hermoso with Emma Watson. On the wings are Delgadillo, Maria Sanchez, and the co Golden Boot winner, Diana Ordonez, up at striker. Thoughts slash how are you feeling about this series as we're about to start it here in 45 minutes?
Well, first of all, this is going to be a tough series. I think Toluca is going to make us work really hard to earn it. It's a good team. They're very physical, and they're well coached. So don't expect an easy matchup. This is one of the tougher quarterfinals games. I think we got the tough one, and I think America Femenil also got the tough one because Juarez is not an easy place to play at. So first of all, let's just get that out of the way, and then as far as the lineup's concerned, I like it. I think to have Mayra Delgadillo be there for a lot of the defensive work, some of the pressing, the physicality that she brings, I think it's good. I know a lot of our fans don't like to see her in the starting 11, but I think it's a good shout. I think this is going to be a game that is going to be very physical, back and forth transitions, and she has the legs to do it. And so I like that. That back line did really well against Rayada, so I'm expecting them to continue with that good form. And Emma Watson and Hermoso have paired up really well together this season. I think they complement each other well. The things that Emma does well, perhaps, are some of the weaknesses from Hermoso, and some of the things that Hermoso does, Emma doesn't bring to the table. So I think it's just a good pairing there, good complement. And then Lady D Ordonez has been red hot in front of goal with Maria Sanchez, just being her consistent self. So really good lineup. We're gonna have a few decent subs to bring in. I'm assuming probably Emma Watson will come out at some point. It's really hard for a new player to play at that altitude for 90 minutes. So I'm thinking that at some point we'll see a sub for her and perhaps Hermoso too. And hopefully our legs hold up at altitude. But other than that, I think we have a good shot. I think any kind of win or tie is good for us because then we go back home and we can kind of finish it off. So this is one that I think we just need to pace ourselves, be smart, and just match their intensity.
Yeah, I like the lineup a lot. I like that Emma's in there from the start. I think she deserved it after how well she performed um, off the bench last week in that Clásico. I know we were kind of maybe thinking, well, maybe Themby comes in and takes back her usual spot, but I think the team is probably playing the long game here, trying to make sure that she's not completely all the way back yet, thrown into the fire after her injury. Um, so I don't mind it. We do have some slim pickings on the bench, as we were just talking about off the air. Not a lot of firepower. And Stephanie Mayor specifically did not travel with the team, uh, at least from what we understand. So she's not even on the bench for this game, and not a lot of options to reinforce should anything happen. So we'll see how it goes.
Corginali
Um,
did not travel either, Dennis.
yep,
I'm
yep,
assuming.
correct. She's still recovering from her injury um, as well. I would imagine she probably won't be back till next series. That would be my guess. I just don't see them having her be in the squad list for Sunday either. You know what I mean? I just
Yeah,
don't see that happening. So, yeah, altitude. It's a team that you know has had a solid season. Uh, reason why I said Diana Ordonez is the co Golden Boot winners because the other person that makes up the co Golden Boot winner um, is on Toluca side. Um, so that's going to be a really interesting battle between the two highest scoring strikers in the league. It should be a great matchup. We always tend to do well on the road there. Like we've had some pretty fun results over the last couple of years. Like when we played at Toluca on the feminine side. So I'm excited about how this game goes tonight um, and how the girls continue to to find the right stride now that we're in the business end of the season, and hopefully they can, build off of the momentum that they gained last week in that Clásico, because that was a pretty big statement, that game last week, and we can only hope that they continue to build on it. That Pedro hopefully se pone las pilas, right? Like he doesn't do anything crazy or does something strange that he doesn't need to be doing this late in the season. So, um, yeah, it should be an excellent game, excellent series. And tonight, it'd be great to walk away with a victory, obviously. I do think it's a strong lineup. It's pretty well balanced. Also, Mia Villalpando did not make the list either. Forgot to mention that earlier. She's dealing with some injury, I think, as well. I'm telling you, Slim Pickett's on the bench. So I'm gonna say we walk away with a win. I don't think it'll be easy, um, but I think we can win this game 2-1.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I think that that would be an excellent result. And honestly, I wouldn't even be mad with a tie. Um, as long as we keep it semi-low scoring, I think a tie is also good. Um, it's not an easy place to play at, so I'm not expecting the girls to go out and full throttle this game. This is not the type of game you want to start off bad with injuries and that sort of thing. As it is, we're kind of a bit depleted at this moment. We've gotten some pieces back, but then we lost some, which is kind of disappointing, right? Themby, as Themby's getting back, then we're losing Corginali and Mayor and Mia Villalpando, so that's a little bit of a concern. And hopefully we can get everybody healthy at least for these big matchups. And then kind of going back to what you were saying with Pedro Losa, I think that's been the disappointment this year with him is that we will have one or two really good games, right, where we feel like, oh man, we're so back and we're ready to go and we're gonna catch stride, and then all of a sudden the next game is terrible and we look dysfunctional. So hopefully that's not the case. I think from that pregame speech I was hearing from Ordonez earlier this week, I think they know what's coming up. I think they know that they need to be at their very best in every sense. And so I think the team's focused. So when this team's focused and dialed in, I think they're special. So hopefully we can sustain that and make a good run this year. Um, as we know, the the very minimum bar for this squad is to reach the final. So anything less is a disappointment. And honestly, you need to be winning. So hopefully we get we strap in and we play well these next games. There's not many games left, right? So we're down to the important ones, and hopefully we give it our best.
Yeah. Oh, the maximum amount of games we could play at this point is 6, including tonight. So 6 important, hopefully, games left to go. And last week was a great start to the potential stretch of 7 games. Um, long may it continue as as we enter into this Liguilla phase. As I mentioned, the games will start in about 40 minutes. To the NVX and the league's YouTube channel if you need to know where to go. Chat, where we at, chat? I know there's 10 of y'all watching. Where you at, chat? It's dead in here. We need y'all to help liven this thing up.
Where's my boy Threeger at?
Yeah, where's Threeger at? Where's Woodsy at? Where's Sean at? Where's everybody at? Get in here. Come hang out in the chat. If you're watching live, come hang out in the chat. For real. Let's move on. I'm gonna ask you again, Lou, how you wanna go about things. You wanna transition now to Nashville, or do we talk about Chivas?
Let's go with Chivas.
Okay, so we'll end with Nashville. Cool. Chivas first leg Saturday for the boys. Saturday night at 7,
8.
8 our time, but 7 back down to Monterrey. Um, Reminder for everybody: the first leg is this Saturday, and the second leg is next Saturday. It's not a 2 games in 4 days situation. So um, be sure you're aware of that. Obviously, the big news about the series is that the start of this Liguilla coincides um, with the announcement that was made by the Mexican national team with Javier Aguirre naming the guys from Liga MX clubs that he wants to take for training camp ahead of the World Cup. And Chivas are the main I don't know what the right word is. They're the main you know, depleted team of all this. They have 5 of their guys leaving. Um they will not play a part in this league yet, including uh Rangel, their goalkeeper, including Piojo Alvarado, including uh Hormiga, including Brian Gonzalez, and I think Romo's the other one. Luis
Romo.
Romo. Yeah. So that is
Brian Gutierrez is
Gutierrez,
the
not
other.
yeah, that's what I meant. So, man, big deal. Tigres will be without a couple players themselves, not for national team reasons, but because of injuries. Joaquin Pereira is still listed as out. Um, Osiel Herrera picked up an injury in the game in Nashville on Tuesday to his hamstring, although it seems like it's not super bad to where he's not officially ruled out for the second leg of that series just yet. So I would imagine he'll come back in the next week and a half, whether it's Tuesday or next Saturday in the second leg. And then obviously Marco Farfan is still out as well. And I guess Vladi Loroña is also out still. I can't remember if he was on the bench on Tuesday or not.
He he was, I believe he
He
was.
was okay, so he should be fine. But yeah, that's where we're at with state of the teams. With those guys out for Chivas, we talked about it a little bit last week, but man, it really depletes the quality of their team, especially going forward, right?
Absolutely, man. You can't drop 5 players like that and not expect repercussions off of it. It's a big blow to them. La Hormiga had been phenomenal throughout the season, and even in that 4-1 loss against us, La Hormiga looked dangerous at times. The few opportunities he had near the box, he put some good shots together. So that's a kid that obviously they depend a lot on. They have a good sub though. Don't sleep on Angel Sepulveda. The guy was really good at Cruz Azul. Um, Scored a lot at Cruz Azul, to be frank. And for a while there was kind of the undisputed starter for Cruz Azul especially under Sanchez. But with this move to Chivas, it kind of hurt him a little bit because he's no longer the starter for good reasons, obviously. But Angel Sepulveda is a veteran guy that knows what it takes to play against Tigres and has done well. He has good movement inside the box, good on crosses. So don't sleep on him. Watch out. He's gonna be good. But they're also missing. You said Piojo Alvarado. That's their key right winger, right? The guy who makes a lot of those crosses. So Romo, a key piece in their midfield. They do have good pieces there. Govea is pretty good. So they have good players. I don't want to make it sound like the series is over. We got it. It's in the bag. We're gonna have to show up because, for one, it's a young squad, and when you have a young squad like that, and they bring the energy, you have to match that intensity. Otherwise, you get worked. And as you know, we haven't been good against depleted teams or teams that on paper are not flashy or anything. We lost 3-1 to Puebla this year. We tied Querétaro. So we have bad games under us this season where we didn't play up to our level, and where on paper we were supposed to be vastly superior, and we didn't show it. So this is a series that, yeah, on paper it looks comfortable, but we need to be careful to not be complacent and not be thinking ahead, right? Like where you show up on Saturday thinking about Tuesday, right? You have to be present. And otherwise, you could come out of there. For me, a tie or a loss would be a terrible result because then now you go into their place with their fans behind them, kind of believing, and that's a tough place to be at. So we're gonna have to be careful, put together a good game for Saturday. Make sure we have a good game plan, manage the squad well to be able to present a good team in front of them.
Absolutely. Before I say my thoughts, we are now joined by a third member of our crew. You know him as the pride of Corpus, but he lives in Houston. In Houston, if you will. It's Mr. AJ himself. Greetings, my friend.
How's it going? How's it going?
Doing
My
good.
man, my man finally got that Windows 2000 system up.
Yeah,
Had
fine.
had to crank that
Had to
thing to
crank
get
it.
it
Had to
going.
crank it. Yep. You know how it is.
It's like an old Ford Model T, baby. He's just sitting there.
With the where the windows don't have a button where they go up and down, you got to use the actual crank.
I,
Should
I
crank
could
it
see
up.
AJ plugging in transistors into the wall, baby, trying to get
Hooking up an antenna.
He's working with legacy systems over there, bro. He's
Yeah.
vintage.
Oh man, AJ, as you heard it when you joined a second ago, talk about Chivas, talk about their absences, how that affects them, what advantage that gives us. Just how do you view all of that as we enter into that series on Saturday?
All right. I think Lou said it correctly. I don't think we should overlook them. It's a young team that's going to be hungry to prove that they can still play without their star players. Um, I still think it's a tricky leg because they're going to be playing a lot of youth. So I think Saturday is a big day that we have to win. I don't think if you play for a draw or if you lose, then we're kind of on the we have a tough hill to climb. But I'm excited. We like you said, we beat them. We beat them a few weeks ago, but I still wouldn't look past this team.
Here's the thing, right? Like we're unbeaten in our last four, which that feels like a miracle, all things considered, after the season we've had. Uh, two draws in league play, our last two road games. One last Saturday, and then obviously the win on Tuesday in Conca play. Um, so it's a nice like stretch of form that we're in. We're kind of finally getting good at the right time. But as you guys have mentioned, you don't want to underestimate a team that has a ton of legs, a ton of energy, and who has a good coach. And so to me, it's not just about winning, it's about winning by multiple goals. You don't want to get in a situation where things get tricky because, as we all know, in the Liguilla sense, the higher seed moves on if it's a tie. And we are not the higher seed. We are the 7th seed. So every single series that we have to play in this tournament, we have to have the advantage. We have to win it outright. Like we don't have a choice. So I think it is so important to take care of business on Saturday in the same manner that we did a few weeks ago when we last played Chivas in the league. It would be great to get another 4-1 win. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't know. Right? Like there were so many good things about the performance that day that were really great. Like Aguirre was really great that day. Correa was really great. Brunetta had probably one of, if not his best game of the season. All the things. Rafa Guerrero like improved after having a very like rough start to the game. Joaquim was really good on Hormiga. Now we don't have Joaquim. They don't have Hormiga. So how does our center back duo pair against Sepulveda, right? Those are some of the matchups and some of the things that I'm curious about as we enter into that first leg. And we really, really need to get a good advantage. I don't want to go into next Saturday at El Acron just kind of, biting my fingers. A sufrir, right? Like we don't want to deal with that. Um, especially against, like I said, a young team who at this point maybe they don't have anything to lose, right? Because they have so many guys out. Maybe that's kind of how they view it, even though they are the 2 seed. It is nice though that now the new rule is coming into play with this Liguilla, that the foreigner rule has kind of been modified. So I think we'll be able to have 8 guys on the
Nine,
field.
nine.
9. Okay. So we, in theory, we could have all 9 of our guys out, which would be that would be funny. Just run a 4-4-2 and have Guignac and Aguirre. I don't think that would happen. And plus, we're at Joaquim anyway, so we're not even going to actually have 9. I imagine we'll have 7 out on the field. I don't think that Aguirre and Guignac are going to start together. I think that's a little crazy in a game like this, but I think the other 7 foreigners should see the field. No problem. So, with Conca in mind, based on last week
Hey, Dennis,
and this week,
can I say something real quick?
yeah.
According to Foot Mob, we haven't lost to Chivas in the last 8 games. We have 4 wins, 4 draws.
Long may it continue.
Do you know when the last time we lost to Chivas?
2022?
23.
That 1-0 loss, right? It was like a 1-0 loss.
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
It was at home too, wasn't it? We lost at home.
That was the regular season game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your boy Nico scored. Was our goal scorer.
El Gemelo. Oh man. As I was saying, with Conca in mind, having just played on Tuesday, playing again on Tuesday, what is the lineup that we expect at this point? I almost think it kind of picks itself, right? I imagine the back line will be Jesus Garza back in the fold, right? Romulo will play center back like he did last game. Angulo will play. Now here's the tricky thing. Do we get the same thing that we saw the other day and on Tuesday?
Let him keep playing, baby. He's earned it.
Yeah.
And he hasn't gotten a ton of minutes this year, so he's got fresh legs.
Okay. Okay.
Honestly though, I would rest Angulo and play Guerrero.
Okay. So
Because he's been kind of nursing that injury a little bit. Like
yeah.
he gets back and then he re-injures. So why not keep him fresh for Nashville?
Okay.
And Rafa Guerrero hasn't been bad at all, especially this last 2 games. You can kind of trust him at this point.
Okay. So Paco, Guerrero, Romulo, and Garza. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Midfield, feel like it picks itself. Threaker, hold on, Threaker's alive. No, hombre, güey, ¿por qué estás hablando del Gacelo?
That's the $1 million question, Threaker. My man's on the squad, but we haven't seen him.
Bro, he turned into Arnoldo and Alfred. Fantasma. You know?
Honestly, it feels like we've reached the threshold. Like if he plays another 10 minutes, we have to buy him out, and they just don't want to take the risk.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, a comment from V. I don't know who you are, V, but welcome from Twitter. How are we feeling about Femenil versus Toluca? You just missed it. We were talking about it a few minutes ago. Feeling good. Lineup looked good. I think we're expecting a tough series, but I think the girls will find a way to win tonight. Spark Notes version.
Yeah, we talked about how it was important to match their intensity, be physical tonight, come out with a good result. I think a tie is a good result because then we get to go back home and finish the game off. And then obviously being the better seed, we get to advance. So I think tonight's a lot about managing the game, controlling it through possession, and coming out with a good result. But it's just a matter of making sure we match their intensity because they will come out fired up, knowing that they're at home and have to get a good result. So just be smart, possess the ball, pick our spots, and then we have a good sub in Themby that can come in and give us a spark if we need to.
Absolutely. Going back to this game. Gori, Cachete, double pivot. we assume. Front line, I feel like it's got to be Aguirre, Correa, Bruneta, and Lainez, right?
Yeah, Linus didn't get the start last game. Played limited minutes, right? So
Yep.
so I think Ozzy's like we said earlier, he's not gonna be ready, match ready. So I think that's your lineup right there.
Yeah.
Um, I'm interested to see what we do tactically though. Last game we kind of had that high line. We pressed we did the high press. I don't know if we want to take that approach this time around. I mean, I know it worked, and more than likely it would work again. I'm just worried about our legs. Like there's a like a fine balance that we're gonna have to find in this match in this series, given that we can't wear ourselves out too much, knowing that the Nashville game's coming
Yep.
on Tuesday.
And then the second leg of this series is next week, and then if you move on, then you go back to Wednesday, Saturday, Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah, so you have to find a way. To me, I forego the high press and try to play possession and see how we do. Uh, and perhaps even invite some pressure and play on the counter to see if we can catch them on the counter. And this is a game where if we get a good lead, perhaps we can even start resting some guys. Right? Let's say you get a good 3-0 lead in and there's still 40 minutes left in this game. Why not pull a lot of your guys, bring in Chicha, Marcelo, some of these guys to kind of limit the minutes. I think that's what's ideal. But a lot of it is just going to depend on our attitude if we can come in and quickly get a hold of the game. And so I'm interested to see how Pizarro treats this game. I think it's important to be smart. You also don't want to come out lackadaisical and then Chivas puts you up against the wall.
V asking, what would you prioritize between Conca and Liguilla? It's tough, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it's knockout. Both of these things are knockout things. Both of these
I,
things are opportunities for trophies in Guignac's last season. I don't think you put a priority over the other. You have to just take it one game at a time.
yeah. I think we're with all the absences Chivas has right now. I think you can maybe focus a little more on this try to closing out this Nashville game. Um, but I think you just have to be very smart on both ends. Because if you're not careful, bro, you could definitely lose both, right? Like you lose against Chivas because you're thinking Nashville, and then you face Nashville, and then you get bounced, and now you risk losing both tournaments. So I think you can't think like that. You can't think like, oh, I'm gonna go all out on Conca, knowing that Chivas isn't at full potential, and then you goof. I think you have to, like you said, one game at a time. Let's focus on Chivas, handle our business, and then once that's completed, then you say, okay, all my resources are going to this Nashville game.
Yeah.
That's the one difference between us and Nashville right now,
Yeah.
is that Nashville, they can afford to take this next game off and not be in a pinch, right? Given their position in the standings,
And the fact that it's
where
so early in the season for
early in
them.
the season, right? So they have that luxury, whereas we don't. We need to make sure we put up a good game against Chivas.
Drieger, I see your comment. Yes, we talked about Feminine being on YouTube.
YouTube VIX.
TUDN potentially. All the things. All right, let me ask y'all a question. If you were Guido, how much would you consider starting Gignac on Saturday?
Honestly, I would start him. I feel like there's not too much of a drop off between him and Buffalo right now. Why not start Gignac 60 minutes maybe? Plug in Buffalo for 30 if you need to. If you don't, Keep trucking with Gignac. I think to me that's a good kind of like what I said about Angulo, right? Rest Angulo, bring in Rafa Guerrero. Not a huge drop off. Knowing Chivas might go low block on us, which if they do, then you're not gonna need that center back
Right.
as much. So yeah, I mean, if like let's say Chivas decided to play us in a low block, Gignac's gonna be there for the crosses, right? He's not gonna have to run as much. Perhaps it's not a back and forth type of game where you're running like crazy. So I like it.
AJ, do you agree, or are you more on Team Buffalo?
I mean, I like the intensity that Buffalo brings to the squad. But yeah, no, I would start Gignac. Especially if save Buffalo for Nashville, I would start Gignac this game.
Okay, I lean towards that too. I do. I think, especially at home, you never know, right? Like we're you never know territory with him, and any opportunity that you can get to throw him out there, to start him in front of our crowd, I think we need to take advantage of it. And it's practically the better option to do that now than on Tuesday. He only played about 10 minutes of the Nashville game on Tuesday, and he looked fine. He didn't look bad at all, I don't feel. Had a couple touches on the ball. Thought he commanded the press and the mid block really well. But I think that it's wise just for squad rotation and just general vibe. The jolt that it would give the crowd to see him start another Liguilla game, I think would help a lot too. I agree with you, V. Gignac better as a sub when legs are tired for sure. But I mean, if we play every single possible game we can the rest of the way, we will not play 2 games a week until, like, let's say hypothetically we play the league final and the Conca final. We won't have a break from 2 games a week until the second leg, after the second leg of the league final. We would have like 5 or 6 days off between both finals. You have to rotate somehow. I know it's hard because all these games are high stakes and the knockout nature of it, but you have to go out there and make some changes here and there smartly. So I think it's worth considering. Do I think it's going to happen? I honestly don't know. I really don't. I have no gauge on it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Shall we predict how the first leg will go on Saturday? Starting with AJ.
That's winning 2-0. 2-0.
Lou.
I'm with AJ. I think 2-0 is a good result for us. I'll go 2-0. I think our defense will hold up. I just don't see them have enough firepower to be able to score on us. I think we can keep the clean sheet. And then 2, I think, is reasonable.
I agree with y'all. I'm going to say 3-0 though, because I feel a lot better about 3-0 than I do about 2-0. We need that cushion ahead of the second leg. And it'd be nice to get those goals early, like you mentioned, and kind of get some guys out ahead of Tuesday. Because Tuesday's obviously a big game. So need the crowd to be on their A game the next week. I know they will on Saturday, but I really need them to be on their A game on Tuesday, knowing that we have that advantage and you're 90 minutes from a final, an international final. So hopefully they'll be up for it. I know they will, but just had to say that out loud. All right, let's end with agree for Tuesday. Crowd needs to be there. Dude, I wanted to go. I really wanted to pull off the trip on Tuesday.
Dude, that would have been so epic, bro.
Dude, but the flight out of here is $900.
Oh, man.
Dude.
Jump on one of those tornadoes, or what are they called? Cornacles, or
the freaking bro, pinche autobús.
The Mexican Greyhound, bro.
bro. Ya
A
nos
little
quedamos, ya
a
nos
little
quedamos,
14-hour trek, bro. Come on now.
bro. Nos quedamos allá en Laredo for 5 hours while they
Yeah,
check all of our stuff, bro.
you were riding with some goats and chickens back there, bro. Epic.
Oh man,
You
pinche.
could have, dude. You missed an opportunity. You could have like video logged the whole thing, bro.
Oh my word. Uh, Viva Aerobus with their one direct flight that they have out of Dallas per day, which is I still don't understand why it's only one flight. Should be two at least. Because Houston gets like four a day. It's like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? But it's okay. I guess I won't be bitter about it. Let's talk about the first leg. Um, this past Tuesday, a fantastic win on Tuesday night, to say the least. 1-0 on the road. You get the all important away goal. It was such an interesting game because of the tactics, because of the weather, because of the atmosphere, because of certain people not playing, certain people who did play, all the things, right? How we scored, how we could have had a few more chances to score that we didn't convert. So much of that game that was interesting. I'll leave my like monologue about like my trip up there for later, but for you two fellers who watched it on a screen, uh share your thoughts about Tuesday night and again how big of a result that is to put a halt into this Nashville train that had been steamrolling through everybody um, and getting great results for this first part of the season.
I was super scared, man, about this match. I was like really, really nervous about it. Just because I was like, man, I don't know what Tigres team is gonna show up, and if we have a bad night, that could be the series, right? If they score in bunches and we can't match it. I was just like going through all the scenarios, and then the game started, and the first 15 minutes were theirs. I mean, they were just on us, bro. And I was like, oh, here we go. It's gonna be one of those long nights, bro. Like, because I was like, we're not gonna be able to keep up with that, with what they were presenting those first 15 minutes. I was like, there's no chance, man. I mean, if we sit like this for 90, they're gonna cook us. And so I was like getting more and more nervous, but it seems like after the 15-minute mark, we started to gain possession again, which is where we needed to be, have possession. And from that 15th minute to the 30th minute, it kind of, we sort of just traded and battled in that midfield in the middle third. But after the 30th minute, I feel like we started to control the match. Our shape was really good. Our possession was great. Just the combination play between Angel Correa and Brunetta and Ozzy and what Gorri was giving us coming out of that fullback spot. I just thought we looked great, and then we started out the second half, and we were pressing as a unit really well, and we looked fantastic. And so we got the goal right when we needed it. I thought it was like a key moment of the game, and I was just hoping to not make any mistakes to close out that half, and we didn't. I was like, man, if we can close out the half with the lead, and then come out in the second half and not give up that early goal, kind of like what we did against Seattle, right, where we gave up an early goal. I was like, if we can just maintain that lead for another 10 to 15 minutes, I think we're going to be fine. And sure enough, we came out playing better in the second half. Like we pressed so well that we kind of shocked Nashville. And I was just really proud of the boys. I thought their energy was great. Um, Honestly, the back line surprised me, bro. I was like really concerned about that. I was like, are they even going to be able to hold it together? Because we're improvising, right? Like Gorriaran has played like maybe a few minutes in that right fullback position, and it was sort of out of necessity when we picked up a red card in one of these games. And so Gorriaran, I thought, was exceptional back there for not knowing that position well. And Paco Reyes, honestly, if we're being honest, he could have probably been the man of the match. And I was just like, who is this guy, dude? I mean, he looked like,
Bro, he got that dog in him. That's why.
bro, he just looked like, he reminded me a little bit of Hugo Ayala and like a little bit of Torres Nilo, and like I was like, man, this guy, dude, was a gem. And so I was really surprised. I thought Angulo and Romulo were great. So like really proud of the way we played. I was surprised. I'm not like changing anything about what I said about Nashville pregame. I still think they're a killer team. I think they have a few more gears that they can, use in this next game. If I was a little surprised that they weren't as intense as they should have been. And so good result, but let's keep our feet firmly on the ground. Like let's not think we got this in the bag, but because we're going home that it's done. Like there's still way too much work to do. We're gonna have to be even better, I think, because we're gonna get a better version of Nashville this next game. So I think we're gonna have to step it up even more. But at least now we know that we can contain some of their pieces. I thought we did so well limiting the amount of touches Mukhtar got. Espinosa got a lot of touches, but his crosses weren't great. And so I think there's a lot of positives that can come out of this that are going to give us a little confidence boost. But we need to be careful. I think it needs to be highlighted. I think Pizarro needs to tell the boys, hey, this team is really good. They're still the team we thought they are. They just didn't have a great game that night. And at any point the line could wake up, and then we're facing this tremendous onslaught. So we just need to be really careful, play well. But I think with that result coming home with our fans, at least we can kind of start to breathe and not be so nervous and uptight.
AJ, what do you want to add to that?
I mean, let me give Vigon a shout for man of the match for me. I mean, he was phenomenal. Vigon was phenomenal. Like,
bro, he looked like prime, like Piojo Herrera prime Vigon, bro.
He surprised me so much.
Wherever Mukhtar went, Vigon was right there with him, like literally, like stuck on him like a flea. And then he set up the goal. Really, he set up the link up play for Brunetta on the goal. So Vigon's a man of the match for me. But
Double Nation in the chat saying they won't have a great game on Mexican soil either, though. There's the trash dog. Viva el Vigodismo. Man. Go on.
But definitely, I think the key for me was controlling the midfield, and we controlled the midfield. Yes, the first 15 minutes, it was like kind of shaky because they were on it. They started the game hot. But I think like the goal that was eventually ruled offside, that came from a mistake. It didn't come from open play. It was a bad pass that their midfielder read, and he intercepted to set up the cross. But other than that, no complaints. I think the defense kept their shape really well. Limited Mukhtar, that limited his touches. And when he did get touched, the whole team was pretty much on his back, forcing him to low danger areas. So we took that part from him. Like Lou said, Espinosa he had the ball a lot, but his crosses really weren't dangerous. So really great defensive performance. Probably, I would say, arguably the best defensive performance this year, especially against a team like Nashville, where you see the starting lineup and you don't know what you're getting. You're like, okay, why is Vigon playing? Right? Like, oh, Vigon's playing, like this is gonna be bad, and then he turns on the game like that. So definitely the boys definitely impressed me.
All right, here's my POV of my experience of my trip there. Actually, before I say that, Lou was a part of the not the Battered Herons podcast, but the Battered Soccer, Battered Fans.
Battered Soccer. Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all should go check out that episode that he did earlier in the week on Monday, where he previewed this series. He previewed actually the Toluca series, because apparently the Toluca podcast, which I didn't even know they had an English podcaster, bro flaked last second, and Lou filled the void. So y'all should check that out. By the way, I forgot to mention that earlier.
Which
Um,
speaking of that, Dennis, I got a little bit of hate because I picked LAFC to win the first leg and then the series overall, so that was getting a little.
well, I mean,
Maybe I should have been more of a homer, right? Been like, oh no, Toluca's gonna run over him, whatever, you know.
you weren't wrong about last night. You weren't wrong
Hey,
about last night. So, anyways, yeah. So I got to Nashville super late Monday. Um, I have some friends who just moved there, so I spent part of the day with them on Monday morning, and then I went and met up with my friends who I went to the game with later on Tuesday. We got to the stadium about an hour before original kickoff time. Um, at 6:30, we took a bus over there. As we walked out of the bus, it started raining. So we like sprinted into the stadium and just hung out on the concourse for a bit. I got my now staple at Geodis Park, which is the empanadas de pollo. Very good. Little overpriced, but very good. Um, they're not like the empanadas they have at Q2, Lou, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. They're bigger, um, they're crunchier. Pretty good.
Are they Colombian style or more of like an Argentinian style empanada?
The ones at Austin are Argentinian, right?
Yeah.
They're more Colombian. The ones in
Yeah, because when you said crunchy, it kind of reminded me like they tend to make them just a little crunchy.
yeah. Yeah. It was very good. So I got that. We were just walking around, just waiting for the rain to kind of die down. And then they came over to the PA and they were like, all right, we're gonna delay. Right as the players like got out and started warming up. Because lightning struck in the area. Met up with our friend Tyler from Big TV NSC. We recorded a video right when the lineups came out. Shout out him. Shout out his wife too. Super great. She's a big help with him on like the channel and all that, and she's really nice. Eventually, things got cleared up. Game started at 8:30. Lot of fans traveled. Um, the Libres contingent was strong. They weren't super loud at the beginning, and I didn't notice that they did bring the drums until like 15 minutes after the game started. But they were pretty loud throughout the whole night. They pulled off the have everybody turn on their flashlights on their phones bit right after we scored, and then separately in the second half, which I thought was hilarious. Bro, there was a couple guys next to me, or not next to me, in the section over to my right, que está bien borracho. I mean, like, unos tigres de 50, 60 años que ahí estaban con unos chevesotes, bro, like, big old glasses of cheve. Arriba los tigres! And just shouting the most random nonsense. Killed me. But so many fans pulled up. A few perdidos, as we all know. Few Chivas fans,
Chivas, I knew Chivas fans would show up.
few Rayados fans, only one America
Come see
fan.
daddy.
Yeah, for real. Couple Pumas fans, bro. Every time I saw somebody in like one of their jerseys, I would either say "Andas perdido, qué güey," or I would just say "Quítate la playera, ¿qué tienes? ¿Por qué lo tienes puesto, bro?" People would just crack up at me. It was so funny. Um, but I thought the atmosphere, both sides, was really great. The Nashville fans, although they didn't fill up the stadium, the ones that were there, they showed out. I thought their supporter section was really strong, but our fans were super loud throughout the whole night as well. Like we're louder than them at various points, and that was awesome. Um, I don't know how much of the like contingent of people there, like what percentage of them traveled from somewhere, what percentage of them were local, like to the Nashville community. I have no idea. Couldn't get a real good read on that, but regardless, like people showed up, a lot of great jerseys, a lot of retro jerseys in the stands. I thought that was awesome. Lou would have been in heaven had he been there with me. seeing some of the kits that were out there. And overall, like the view that we had in the second level, like allowed me to see a lot of the gameplay the way that I wanted to. And I really appreciated Guido's game plan. Let me start off with that as far as like my game analysis. I thought Guido's game plan was superb, compacting the middle of the park, making things really difficult for Yazbek, for Eddie, for the few minutes that he was in before he got hurt. Which, by the way, I think that's an underrated part of the game because they do not control the midfield the same way when he's not in there. Like Yazbek is a great player by himself, but him and Eddie together really drive home how they work. And when he came off, like they lost a lot of control. But just the way that Guido had the midfielders set up, how certain guys press. Vigon was like pressing higher than Aguirre at times, which I thought was really interesting. As you mentioned, AJ, like sticking next to Mukhtar, which in that scenario is such a great strategy because without Surridge, that really nullifies their attack. And basically, the game plan was okay, Espinoza is a great player, but if we just let him spam cross, are they going to be able to get the target? Because God bless him, but like Warren Madrigal is not Sam Surridge when it comes to being in the air. And Hani Mukhtar is not a person who plays in the air either. Like he plays with the ball at his feet. And that was the gamble that worked. There were some moments in play, like obviously in the first 15, 20 minutes, but even in the second half where like Nashville started to get some good possession. They had some good moments. They had a lot of set pieces, especially towards the end of the second half. It's not like they played bad, I don't think. Was that probably their worst performance of the season? Maybe. I don't know. But I thought that they played a pretty strong game. Their goalie was exceptional. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he had a couple unreal saves to keep it at 1-0. Nahuel did too. Like that save that he had on Espinoza, I thought is another big moment in that game where they were getting some momentum and the power and the pace that he hit that shot with. It felt like it was going in, but somehow Nahuel, with his instincts, even at 40 years old, unbelievable. But Nashville, by any means, did not play a bad game. And I was texting some fans after the game, including shout out Denzel, who I didn't get to meet, but him and I were chatting after the game on Twitter. And he was like, man, like, I think we're out of it. Like, congrats on advancing. I was like, dude, y'all played well. Like, this thing's not over, man. Like, it
No,
really isn't. Like,
by
y'all
no
just,
means.
by no means, they just went to Mexico a few weeks ago and they got a great result. What makes us think they can't do that again, right? They're so still well disciplined and well poised. That honestly, that goal, like, it's just pure brilliance, right? And Schwaki even got a hand on it. It's just that it had so much pace and it had so much power that Correa was still able to convert it, even though, Schwaki got a hand on it. So by no means was it like a horrific performance from them. Narrator voice. Nashville was cooked. Even troll over here. Even over the
Thinking
TV,
double L Nation, bro.
you could hear our fans out chanting the home side. Oh yeah, the porra was strong, bro. It really
We got to
was.
find a way to nullify this curse he's putting upon us.
Yeah, for
Like he's
real, bro.
talking too much trash, bro.
Oh man, but overall, just a really impressive performance from so many of the guys. I won't echo too much of what you already said, but like I want to say again, Paco, unbelievable. We already talked about Figon. Yeah, Correa obviously strong. Bruneta, I feel like could have been better. I wish he would have scored that goal in the
Yeah,
first half.
you gotta hit that hard, bro. You
Yeah,
can't
bro.
try to just tap it in. That's a laces. Hit it with the laces shot and just
Yeah,
rip the net, man. But
yeah.
yeah, the other one that I thought possibly could have gone in was the Vigon one where he deflected it. Like the ball came to him and he deflected and thought, man, if we do better there, I think we could have scored. Do we know what the situation is with Surridge for the second leg? Because I think that dude is so key. If he's able to play, I think he's going to be a nightmare for
I don't think he will. Based on what I was chatting with Tyler, and even with some other fans, and even my friends who I went with, I think he's not going to play. The team has listed him as week to week. He picked up a back injury either at the end of their last league game or like during training, but I don't think he's going to play. I think he's out. And that's a huge plus for
Yeah.
us because he really makes them tick offensively. They're already not very good offensively numbers wise in Conca, and he would elevate that so much more. Just with his aerial presence, his finishing ability is really strong. Like all those crosses that Espinoza had on Tuesday, he gets on a couple of them and at least
Oh
creates
yeah,
some half chances for sure. So
absolutely.
Double A Nation saying, in all seriousness, they were a solid side and arguably the best in MLS, but I think we have great momentum going. Yeah, for sure.
Finally, a serious comment from Double L Nation, man.
One in every 15, bro.
Stinking had to reprimand him for him to get serious, bro.
Threaker saying, do y'all think we're going to be seeing some traveling Nashville fans? I don't know. I really don't know. I do know that there's a guy who's like a reporter.
Ben Wright? Is that Ben
Yeah,
Wright?
Ben is going.
He's
Him
going.
him and another guy from his crew are going. I don't know anybody else though, personally, and I'm sure they'll have some level of a contingent there. I imagine it'll be pretty small.
That's one thing that I would love to see is MLS fans traveling more. I think there's one team that does it really well, which is LAFC. It's
Yes. Oh
because
my
they have
gosh.
there's just so many Hispanics in that community that I think they feel comfortable. But I wish like there was more. Ooh, we missed a chance, bro.
Oh, did
Uh,
we?
Mayra Delgadillo just missed it.
Ah, dang it.
Front of goal header.
Are you watching on YouTube or are you
I'm
watching
watching
Lick?
on YouTube, bro. I'm at minute 6:22.
Okay.
Uh, I wish they would travel more, bro. I think they would enjoy the experience,
Yeah, dude.
and I think they would get behind this tournament a lot more if they were just make that exchange. I think there's probably from some folks there's probably a little bit of fear, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, is it dangerous to go to a Mexican city? Is it dangerous inside the stadium? So there's a lot of that fear that I think prevents them from traveling. But I think if they could just get past that hurdle where hey, it's really not that bad, kind of like the way the Cincy fans did it last year, right? They went and there was only a handful of them, but
Yeah.
when they came back, they were like, "Man, we loved it," and they kind of spread the word. And I feel like it's good for both sides. I think our fans enjoy the presence of people from the U.S. and they benefit from the culture and seeing a team in Mexico. So I wish they would just get past that hurdle and travel a little more.
Yeah. By the way, the game is on TUDN. It's not listed as it's on like a TV guide or anything, but it is there. So that's how I'm watching it. Trigger saying also found it hilarious how the Conca media, yeah, the Conca media team was really interesting. Like
Yeah,
they're kind of shout out to them by the way. I feel like they're doing a better job of like having a presence this year because I feel like CONCACAF social media in the past has just been kind of but at least for this series, they're branding it as big semis or whatever. And they had that girl following the Libres
yeah, that
around.
girl that went with
Yeah,
the Liudas, that was
it was
awesome,
great.
dude.
More of
Loved
that.
it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I super enjoyed it. So kudos to Conca making some strides there. Hopefully they can do more of the same on Tuesday.
Do we know anything about Ozzy Dennis if he's gonna be available for the second leg or not?
So I was reading Edgar Martinez's tweet about that earlier today because he's the one reporter that I think had a real report on it. He said that based on the medical report that they received, there's a chance he could play on Tuesday. He's completely out for Saturday for sure, but there's not enough of a tear in the hamstring or a strain in the hamstring that's going to take him out for potentially a long time. Do I think he'll start Tuesday? Absolutely not. Do I think he'll even play Tuesday? I think it's very not likely. I I imagine they're going to try to like save him for the second leg against Chivas, if I had to guess. But we'll see. We'll see how he recovers.
So if he's not available, who do you think we go with? Marcelo again, or do we play Linus instead and forego Herrera completely?
Yeah, I would bring in Linez. I think that would be my
Keep that 4-2-3-1, but now we're just going to be right side heavy, I guess.
yeah. Do you think let's imagine Joaquim's not available either. Do we roll with the same lineup for the most part? Garza will be back in theory,
Yeah, I
right?
think you would plug in Garza there probably, and then leave everybody else the same.
Maybe just have I don't know. Maybe at that point maybe at that point you have a like a 4-1-4-1 of like Cachete being the base, and then maybe you have probably a lot, but like Goriaran and Bruneta and Correa
That'd be cool.
and Linez,
I'm down with that.
maybe. I don't know. We could talk about that more on Sunday.
Yeah, dude, it's gutsy that Pizarro went with the lineup that he did, bro. I think he surprised us all. Um, I did not see Gorri at right back, and it
It
played
worked,
out
man.
perfectly, dude.
And like when
Oh,
we had possession, I like that he wasn't just staying back there. Like they shifted things around to where we were kind of playing like a 3 in the back in possession. I don't know if y'all caught this. I had a great view of it because of how high up I was. But Gori was like pushed further up. Romulo kind of took over that space on the right side, and then Cachete dropped. And I really like that he did that. I think that kind of confused Nashville a little bit because it just kind of created some space and allowed some different passing options, especially out wide. I thought it worked really well.
Yeah, the other
if it
thing,
took us by surprise, it definitely took them by surprise.
What were you
the
saying, AJ?
the other thing is that Gordy didn't like overextend. Like he didn't push far too up offensively. Like he stayed like, hey, I'm gonna right here, the midfield line. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna push all the way up. That way, if they started a counter, he was already there, and I think that helped too. And like you said, Cachete dropping back, I think that was like, whoa, like they're really playing like at times playing with three center backs, and then Cachete would drop back, and then now you have a big zone in the middle. I think like I said, it was really defensively really solid.
yeah. For a guy that doesn't play that position regularly, I thought his sense of space and timing was excellent, right? Because he didn't get caught out of position, like AJ saying. But and that's just him having great awareness of where he needs to be on the pitch, and he just showed, bro, that he's just so versatile because at this point he's shown that he could play attacking mid, he could play CDM, he could play right wing, he can play right fullback. So he's kind of turning into our Jesus Dueñas, bro. Like kind of nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Great comment here from Threaker. Not gonna lie, Cello has been getting better defensively. Yes, he has been really good at dropping back and helping out. OCL has too, but I feel like Cello has been much better at like sacrificing on the defensive end. And Double O Nation saying his huevos drop. No manches, bro. Oh man, I
I'm not gonna
can't.
encourage this sort of behavior from Double O Nation.
Oh man. Anything else we want to mention about Tuesday night? Are we good?
I think the keys are fans fired up. Dude, I would love to see like a Libertadores type of reception, bro, where we do the paper, where the paper drops, bro. Just
Yeah, bro. Just go
that kind.
crazy.
I don't know. I was just thinking earlier in the week, bro. I'd be like, man, to have that kind of like welcome in as the teams are coming in and everything's just dropping, loud stadium, like. fans in it from the first minute, get us off to a good start, and then just be intelligent like we were in the first game, keep our shape, be intense, control the match through possession, get a score in. I think it's going to be important that we score. If we can get 2 goals in, bro, I think we lock it in.
Yeah.
Score 2 and we lock it in.
Yep.
And so I think the mindset needs to be go get it. Go get the game. It's 0-0. Let's go win it. And all 90 minutes, man, dialed in, and I think we could do it. We just need to have the best game of the season on Tuesday.
Love it. Before we go, because I think that's all of our stuff as far as an outline goes, I do want to bring up this question that was brought to us by our friend Sean, who I don't think is watching currently, but if you are, Sean, let us know. This is a random question that he brought up, I think, last Wednesday when we played Atlas. I think it was during that game. Bro. No comment.
I hope he's right, though.
Yes,
Right.
agreed. What do you guys think about this? We talked about it a little bit online, but I think it's worth bringing up on the air. Would you guys have preferred an alternative timeline where we kept Siboldi all the way through and thus no Pauno and potentially no Guido?
I personally wouldn't take it. If it involves not having Guido, I wouldn't take it. Just because I like Siboldi as a manager, but the way Siboldi's career has shaped out, he has turned into a short-term manager instead of a long-term project. And I think at Tigres, what we need is long-term. We need the stability that we had under Tuca Ferretti. And Pizarro understands that. I think Pizarro is the type of coach that's in it for the long haul. Whereas Siboldi, I feel like, due to different circumstances or whatever, never really stays put at a team for more than 2 or 3 seasons. Sometimes it's only one season and he's pieces out, right? So, nothing against Siboldi as a coach. I think he's a great manager. He has on his staff some great tacticians. In my opinion, Siboldi was the best halftime coach we've ever had. If you notice, like his teams would come out and then they would just analyze the game so well, have a locker room chat, adjust, and then in the second half, the teams would be completely different. And that's because they were making a lot of good adjustments at halftime. And I don't think anybody's been that good in-game manager. I think he's been the best we've had. But for what we need, which is a long-term project, Pizarro is the answer. I would take a timeline where Siboldi stays another 2 or 3 seasons and we skip Pauno altogether. I would take that in a heartbeat. I think Pauno in the recent era, at least from 2010 onward, has been our biggest managerial mistake. I think Pauno in some ways was even a worse hire than Diego Coca.
Yes and amen.
Because I think Diego Coca, obviously mercenary that he is, bailed and everything, and we can hate him for it all we want. But at the end of the day, I think he would have had a very balanced squad had he stayed. And I think he would have likely been quite a bit successful with us because in a lot of ways he kind of had a similar style to Tuca Ferretti. It's just that we fault him for being such a sellout, but in reality, I think he could have been a good coach had he stayed and if he wanted to stay with the project. Whereas I think Pauno from the get-go was just a terrible fit and was never going to be successful at Tigres.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. That's a great alternate timeline. If Siboldi exits in a good manner, like it's not like this stained thing that unfortunately was mostly due by some of the higher ups at the club. And then Pizarro does a similar thing where he finishes playing and immediately steps into that role. Like that's a great alternate timeline if you ask me. Um, because I mean, let's not get it twisted. Like Siboldi was successful in his time here in the grand scheme of things. Like he won us a championship in the league. We won a Campeón de Campeones. We won a Campeones Cup. We probably should have made that Conca final in
Yeah.
2023. Just the players just kind of lost it. Um, that 2023 Apertura final was super unfortunate. We had a couple great chances in that second leg before America scored, and eventually they won that championship where we were the better team.
Well, honestly, if Gignac and Carioca would have scored those goals, I think we win that series, bro. I
Yeah,
think that would have been us. It's just unfortunately what happened, and I think he, in a lot of ways, he had that match controlled.
yeah,
Just happened the way it happened. But
yeah,
um, honestly, I also feel like he did a lot with the talent he had. The the roster wasn't as rich as what Pizarro has right now. Like
yeah,
he didn't have an Angel Correa, for example, or that type of level. I think he at times he did a lot with what he had, and I think you nailed it. The only real stain on his record was that that semis against Leon, where they had a really good home game, and then we just fell apart in the away game.
yeah, yeah. And then obviously that Clásico quarterfinal,
Yeah,
like right before he got let go. Which I mean, I think a lot of that, even still to this day, like I think a lot of that's because the players did not do their job during that series. Um, but you know, some history will say otherwise. Tigres isn't a team for for Sanchez. Puro long-term cuffing. And Pauno is the torta we don't talk about.
It's funny how, like, at least in my book, Pauno came to take the load off of Coca a little bit, right? Because
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a while, Coca was the unmentionable one, and I think Pauno came in and
Oh, he took that.
he
He took
took that by storm, bro.
no kidding. AJ, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Um, do you agree with the sentiment that we have about the question that we got from Sean about that alternate universe where uh maybe Siboldi stays a little bit longer and then we get Pizarro? Just what are your thoughts on that question?
Yeah, no, I agree with what Lou said. I think if you, I understand Pauno is like he has a bad taste, but if we don't go through that, I don't think the board, if we didn't go through that rough spell, we would have appointed Guido. That's just my opinion. I think they would have rolled with Savoldi until the wheels fell off. So it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, the Pauno tenure. But no, I wouldn't change what anything. I think everything has a reason, and it's working out in our favor now.
Oh, did you see that half chance we just had?
dude,
Oh,
so
close.
close.
So close. Just a little bit of a better control. I almost scored there.
This game has been nice and back and forth
It
these last
has.
10 minutes.
It has, yeah. Yeah, I really like it. Really like it. Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to land the plane. Don't you think?
Oh yeah.
Cool beans. Saturday. The game will be on the usual spots. Fox, Telemundo. In fact, this whole series will be on Telemundo, because Chivas is a Telemundo team here in the U.S. as well.
And
I
then
was high.
you missed the best spot to watch it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, Lou's favorite spot for reasons. Estrella. A Devil Nation saying, I was hyped for next week y ustedes salen con los malos recuerdos.
We ruined it, bro. We ruined the night.
Bro. Key key difference is that in 2023, that second leg was at Leon. The second leg this time is at our place. I feel pretty good about it.
I feel like we should be drinking some tequila and playing some Ramon Ayala in the background.
Bro, I gotta tell y'all this story. This has, well, it kind of has something to do with the game. But my friends, who I went to the game with, they live in Nashville, close to the airport, and my friend's dad came and watched their kids while we were gone at the game. And you mentioned that with the tequila, and it just reminds me of us walking back into the house after the game and seeing her dad, like, not passed out, but just like chilling on the couch.
Slumped on the couch.
Yeah, because because she bought him some bourbon as like a bribe to like stay with the kids. So he was like pretty gone on the bourbon, and he was watching a video of the Eagles, like an acoustic video of the Eagles from like, I don't know, like 2001 or something, playing some random song. He was like, "Yeah, this is how I'm winding down." Just so random. Oh man. Anyways, so yeah, Saturday. Those are the channels for that. Tuesday, the game will again be on FS1 and TUDN, that second leg. Here's what we're gonna do. I think we are leaning towards. Oh, good save. Oh, great save. Holy cow! I don't like how that happened, but great save. I think this is what we're gonna do. Chat slash listeners slash viewers. We will probably record again on Sunday. You'll get confirmation from that at some point. But we're leaning towards recording on Sunday. We'll figure out a time to do it because we know the feminine game is also Sunday night, the second leg of the series. So we may do like a half watch along for that, slash really get into leg 2 of the Nashville series and recap what happens on Saturday in the first leg of the Chivas series. That's what we're leaning towards right now. That should be our next episode. In theory, if that happens, Tyler from Big TV NSC will join us again for that episode as well. So looking forward to hopefully having him for that. And we'll go from there. With how things are with the calendar, this is kind of what makes the most sense as far as like our recording schedule, to kind of go away from our Tuesday rhythm and do it like this. So that's where we're at. We will see what happens after that. We'll talk off the air, the crew and I will, but maybe some potential for like a post game or another watch along or something next week with the games. We'll see what happens. Long way to go, but just plan for Sunday for our next We got to sign number 17 from Toluca. Hashtag scouting report.
Who's number 17?
No idea.
Nico Castro?
No, I think he's talking about
Oh, from the femenil.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which
Oh,
I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Could you name drop that, please, Edgar? As I'm signing out, maybe I'll throw up that comment before we end the recording. Anyways, so yeah, that's our plan. Y'all stay tuned. The best place to get information on when we record is if you follow us on Twitter, at la_u_times, X, whatever you want to call it. Please follow us there. Follow us everywhere. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the podcast. Let us know if you want to be a part of the show. Don't forget to leave a comment or a review or a rating. I want to see some more comments on YouTube. So if you have thoughts on YouTube, let us know. Even if you post them after we live stream, like I'll still look at them. So let us know. And don't forget to follow all of us individually on all of our social medias, by looking at the screen or looking at the episode description / the show notes. As I mentioned, our plan is Sunday. Stay tuned, but we will probably record Sunday night around, I would say, halftime of the second leg of Femenil's matchup versus Toluca. If that changes, if we have to alter things, we will let you guys know, but that is our plan as of now. Please join us for that as we preview and recap and do all the things and talk more about Nashville, all the things. Please join us for that. Please and thank you. But that's it for us tonight. We're going to finish watching this first leg. And then nos vamos a dormir because this is a late night start and it's not good for our sleep schedules. So we're going to go to bed once this game's
Hopefully
over.
with the win. Hopefully with the
Yes.
win. We sleep better when Femenil wins. So
Correct.
hopefully we get the W and then we can just knock out.
Correct. Jakobsen is her name, 17 from
And she nearly scored just now.
yeah. She's tall. She's very tall. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's all for us tonight. We appreciate y'all watching and tuning in and commenting and being part of chat. Seriously goes a long way. And just y'all's support of the show is awesome. So thank y'all so much for AJ, for Lou, and for me, Dennis. This is the Lautimes podcast. We will see you guys most likely on Sunday night. Arriba, Lau. Talk to you guys later.
Peace.